kind of beginner swimming, how to kind of break into the pool, and tying into that, fears of open water swimming, which the fears are real. I've been doing triathlon since 2004. Did my first Ironman in 2013, so I've been doing triathlons for a bit before I did my first Ironman swim, which was at Lake Tahoe in California. So Lake Tahoe, like, the water is crystal clear, and when you're out swimming, you can see straight down to the bottom. Now, I didn't think I had an open water swimming fear because here in Kansas City, it's mostly murky, dirty lakes. So once you get so far, you can't see the bottom. But seeing straight down to the bottom when I did a practice swim the day before the race, it kind of for a minute, freaked me out. So how I got around that was you just focus on what you're doing and going forward and swimming and sighting and kind of focusing more on the scenery and everything else is going on above the water. So that would be what I kind of lay out for people is when you're beginning to swim, hit the pool, get comfortable in the water. So with lap lane, usually you're at a point where you could stand up. There are some, maybe the end's deeper than the other, but practice getting from end to end. If you need to stand up, if you have a moment, just stand up in the pool in the lap lane. There's nothing wrong with that. So the main thing is get in the water in a controlled space. So maybe if you got some open water that's pretty shallow, so you can stand up at any point in time. I know I've done Ironman Florida, so I've done swims into the ocean, which there's critters out there, and usually when I'm doing my practice swims, I stay close to shore, so I'm just swimming along the shore. So at any point in time, if I really needed to, I could just stand up. I can stop swimming and stand up in the water. Now, when you're doing your race, you'll be out there far enough that you can't touch the bottom. But there's kayakers when you're doing a race. There's lots of people. There's lots of kayakers. There are things you won't get to a point where if you have problems, you're not on your own. You're not just out there in the water all by yourself like a training swim or something like that. So take solace in the fact that when you're doing a race, there'll be people out there supporting you, especially in Ironman races, 70.3 and 140.6 distance. They've got kayakers, they've got floating lily pads to take a break on. You could take a break on one of the buoys. They've got divers every so often. Some races I've been in even has divers with a little life preserver just sitting there. If you want to grab on, you can. So you can do that during a race. Perfectly legal. Just grab onto a buoy or something like that. As long as it's not helping you make forward progress, you can hang out there for a minute. Another interesting strategy is, like I said, for Lake Tahoe, I could see the bottom, and that kind of freaked me out for a minute. Turn around and do the backstroke. So I work that into my programs for my athletes. Every once in a while you're doing, four sets of 25 or 4 sets of 50 of backstroke. Still keeping that stroke or a breaststroke or something else. So if you have a moment, you can revert to a stroke. If you just roll on your back, you're looking straight up in the sky. You're not worried about what's in the water. Your face is out of the water. You don't have to freak out. You can get air the whole time. And you just kind of take a minute and you just keep moving, keep making forward progress. That's the key is don't just sit there and tread water and waste energy and have a moment. At least you can spin on your back and do some swimming like that. So like I said, the first part is get in the water, get some experience, go to a pool, start swimming. I don't care if you can't even get across the pool, just go as far as you can. And each time just try to get further and further. So you get a good base of swimming. And like I said, if you have problems in the pool, you can stand up at any time. So you're safe on that one. So just do it in controlled space where you feel safe. But, to get over fear of open water, you're probably going to have to swim in open water. Like I said, around here in Kansas City, we've got plenty of opportunities for open water swimming. Maybe not so much with COVID-19 and everything, closed some of the beaches, but just swim on some beaches to where you can stand up. So you're in the open water, but you can stand up at any point in time. Go with friends, bring a buoy so people can see you as you're swimming. Maybe if you have access to somebody with a boat or something like that, you can take that out and swim a little bit here and there. Get a wetsuit to help us buoyancy so you can get out there and feel a little bit buoyant and help you out. But get practice in the water and do it in ways that make you feel safe. So when you're out there experimenting, maybe it's not just a swim. It's just to go out there and just kind of float around a little bit in the open water. Just get used to it. Little bits here and there, maybe once a week, trying stuff like that. And then don't save it all for the big race. So if you've never done triathlon before, don't train for 6-7 months and have a full Ironman distance be your first race ever. Get in for a sprint, get in for Olympic. I've had athletes that unfortunately didn't do any of that and then get on to the race day for like a 70.3. I had a moment and, asked to be taken out of the water. So they were safe. They had a moment, but unfortunately they didn't take an opportunity to do it in a smaller race, like a sprint race. Usually you're not going to get too far off shore to where you're in deep water. Hit an Olympic race or something like that. So just get opportunities to go out in race conditions to where you're hyped up and your anxiety and your adrenaline, everything's rushing. So when you go out there and do the swim and you have that tendency to go out a little bit too fast in the beginning and use a lot of energy, you can find ways to tone it down. And you know what that experience is before you actually go into a bigger race, possibly lots more people in there, and maybe that triggers something. So that's my tip. Get in the pool, get as much distance as you can, start swimming as far as you can. Keep the backstroke in your back pocket if you need it. Go out there, get practice in open water. Do smaller races before your big race to experience some open water swimming in a race condition. And then just over time, keep practicing, keep getting to the pool, keep getting long distances. Find some good swimming programs out there. Master swimming is always a good option. I coach that here locally. But find master swimming programs or get lessons, even one-on-one lessons. There's plenty of swimming opportunities to get lessons. So there's opportunities, but you need to start working now so you're ready for race day. So hopefully that helps you out, and let me know if you have any other questions.